Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective. We're on Season 2, Episode 8. 8. Ryan. Yes, Ryan from Season 1 is back, and it's kind of an emotional episode. Although, there was less, action stuff in this than I remember there were. Maybe I was confused with the first one with Ryan in it, but... So, Ryan is at Summerholt Institute being, for lack of a better term, experimented on by this doctor guy. And Ryan messes with the guy and tells him that his assistant is trying to steal OxyContin from him, which he calls OxyContin, which is not the subtitle, so it's OxyContin. And it in. So when he goes to call the guy out on it, he realizes Ryan messed with him. And Ryan gets to a phone and calls Clark. And Annette O'Toole, man, when he answers the phone and he's like, Ryan, her face lights up. She's like, oh. And yeah, so that's the whole opening. He gets injected with something, and then we go opening credits. So the whole A plot concerns Ryan. There's a B and a C plot here. The B plot concerns Lana when she finds out that Dean, remember him from a few episodes ago, has not only asked her to marry him, but they're going to move to Metropolis together. The marrying thing was before, but Metropolis together. That means Lana's going with him. She doesn't want to. And there's a great scene. It really shows you how much Clark cares. She tells him what's going on, and I like this though because Ryan reads her mind and tells Clark. So Clark sort of asks her to come to the barn, and they sort of start talking, and he kind of coerces her into saying it. And as she goes to leave, he just goes over to the banister and he's like, "Don't go." And it really hits that spot of he really cares. Don't go. She turns around and she's like, waiting for something. Kind of talks, no, can't tell you what to do if you don't want to. Can't just, whatever. So she decides she's going to try to get emancipated, which could take too long. Which I feel is just a way to get out of doing that part of the story. Because I've seen it done very quick in movies and TV shows where I'm going to get emancipated and it's done. Like that. But they say it's going to take almost a year for it to get completely finalized, so that wouldn't help. So instead, we find out that she's going to move in with Chloe, which does become a plot point throughout the rest of this season at least. Then eventually she does end up living in the apartment above the Talon. I think this is like season 4. By then she's close to 18, I guess. But remember, they're only 16 now. I think. Supposed to be. At this point, they're sophomores, so they're 16. I was 15 turning 16 when I was a junior. I wasn't that held back. When I was a freshman, because I was... Now, if I was 15 turning 16 when I was a junior, I'd be too smart. And you know me, I'm not that smart. But no. No, I was held back once. So I was 15 turning 16 when I was a freshman. So, anyway... so that's that plot. The C plot is just kind of small. The mayor, played by the cigarette-smoking man from the X-Files, shows up, wanting a bribe from Lex to continue funding his plant or whatever it is. And that's at the beginning and the end of the episode. At the end, Lex decides she's going to do a smear campaign and fully support his opposition, no matter who it is. And I don't know if you ever see the mayor again. It doesn't really matter. But it's kind of a weird plotline to have in this. We finally get to see Lex's Warrior Angel Collection. I don't know if I ever brought Warrior Angel up, but it's basically an allegory for the show. It's basically their Superman, only he's bald, and that's why Lex is drawn to him. But he's Clark. He's Superman. He's got the powers, whatever. He's got a best friend that turns on him. Lex Luthor. Although I've always equated this. Maybe that's not this character. It's something else. Never mind. We'll get to that when we get to that. Yeah. So we get to see the Warrior Angel collection. We find out that Ryan has a tumor. It's not a tumor, but it is a tumor in his head, and that's what's causing him to have his ESP, read minds. I don't think we needed to ever have an explanation. It was fine just being a mystery, but there it is. And so, when Clark goes to get Ryan, he breaks into Summerholt and steals him. And then the doctor shows up at the Kent farm wanting Ryan back. Of course, he takes him to Lex's mansion, which is smart, I guess. But he didn't really think about it. He just arrested him. He just took him. And so, the doctor shows up. Oh, I want him arrested, and I want this, so and so with Ethan, and then, the sheriff. But then, this is the next day. They say, "Oh, you're right." And I like how when he goes to get him, both Clark and Jonathan stand in front, and they refuse. And like, "Come on, Ethan." He's like, "I don't have a choice." Then who comes to save the day? But Lex Luthor drives up, and he's got an injunction put on this, or whatever it is called, a cease and desist order or something, restraining order, until they can put this whole thing solved. We never see this guy again. I was waiting for this guy to pop up and do something. We never see him again. So I don't know whatever happens with this guy. But Ryan already knows that whatever it is terminal. The tumor in his brain. And so, one thing that really gets me is that Lex finds this guy, this surgeon, all the way in Hub City. I don't know. I never heard of Hub City before. And we get maybe one of the longest running scenes in here, where Clark is running all the way to Hub City. I think it's to show you how far away it is. He's got to reach this guy before he can take a plane to Helsinki, Finland. And he gets there, and he stops the plane. He's like, "Hey!" And they're able to just stop the plane on a dime without hitting him. And then he's like, "Oh, doctor, whatever, I need to talk to you." The TSA comes in. Motherfucking A. Comes in, and they're like, "Put your hands up!" I'm like, "You're airport security. What the hell are you gonna do?" I'm like, "Come on, so put your hands up!" I'm like, but no, the doctor's like, "Wait." And they're like, because shows him the scans or whatever. And he's like, so Lex talked about this procedure. It was some life-altering procedure that could fix Ryan. It feels like if they were just going to do what they did, they should have just left this out. Because it doesn't add anything but pad out the runtime. So they do the procedure, and the thing is going to be whatever. And then all of a sudden, Lana comes up. They have a little talk. That's when we reveal that she's going to move into Chloe. And then you cut to the cancer crying. We find out that it only bought him a few days. So what was the point of doing that? A few more days. And it all goes back to what Lex said, comparing it to his mom dying, where he tried everything he could to try to help, where he should have spent time with her. So they make a big deal about this special fortress that a warrior angel has that floats in the sky, and we get a nod to Superman flying with Clark being like, "I'm kind of afraid of heights," sort of thing. Kind of like a no flights, no tights sort of thing. And it ends with them in a balloon. And yes, the balloon fortress is supposed to be the Fortress of Solitude, and he's like, "I don't know about it flying," but yeah. Although the Justice League did have a floating thing in space. It was in space, though, it wasn't there. It's hard to me to picture Superman being afraid of flying, but it is sad. The way they end this, though, man. He's like, "I know I told you to watch out to be very relaxed, but watch out for them." And they're on this balloon and everything, and kind of sad. They hug each other, and then it cuts to the hospital bed, and Clark is standing there, and it's this great shot You can see in like hospital dramas where he's standing there. He's got these comic books and he's standing. He's frozen, and people are just moving around him, kind of slowly. But it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's very well done. But that's how the episode ends. Pete was in this. They do a surprise party, and that's where Ryan reads his mind. He's like, Pete knows your secret. I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, do you know that it's weighing down on him or whatever? And I was like, really? Yeah, that was the start. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they knew that Sam Jones there wasn't coming back for season 4, but that doesn't come back. But Lionel's not in this episode, although they do have a scene where Martha is at the mansion. She's like, well, I'm going to quit my job now that you're here so I can help take care of you. And I'm like, well, I never said you could keep him, lady. And I don't. But no, she doesn't quit her job yet. But, yeah. I need to look. Okay, this episode, by the way, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 Superman logos. 3 Superman logos out of 5. Because I just think it's good. It's sad. It hits you. It hits you. So, I need to look to see how many episodes I have left before the Whitney return episode. Because I thought it was episode 2 of the Nexus, but right, episode 3. If it's episode 3, I'm not going to do any more. Because the first episode is Jonathan Taylor Thomas episode. And then we have... I know that the Skinwalker episode was also on disc 3. I think it was on disc 4. I don't know. I'll have to look. But, yeah, this was interesting to go back and watch. So what are your thoughts on this episode? Leave a comment, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.